Hey lovelies, tonight's episode's a little bit different. I have just spent the last nearly 1 hour recording using my webcam because it takes too long to upload and do all the rest of it using my video camera. But unfortunately, whenever I'd done it, I went to edit it and it was out of sync. I was so gutted. Nearly an hour's worth of footage gone. So anyway, I decided to do it like this here. So this is recording directly on YouTube, so I don't even think I can actually edit it. But anyway, as you can see from the title, this week's episode of Coping with Fibro is about grieving for ourselves. And the reason I say grieving for ourselves is because our lives have changed so much that the person we used to be is no longer there, and we've had to learn to become a new person. And I know not all of us have actually got to the stage where we know who that new person is and where our life is actually headed, and we're still grieving for that lost person. I know I haven't totally gotten over what I've lost. Um, I mean, for me, what I'm grieving is the fact that I used to be extremely active. I may not have been the type of person who went to the gym or went swimming all the time or went running, but I walked everywhere. I would walk to work, I would walk to my parents' house and home, I would go visit my friends by walking or things like that. You know, if I wanted to go do a bit of shopping, I would walk down to Conswater. Yeah, it's only a 25-minute walk, but wow, I don't even think I could do a return 25-minute walk without passing out now. Um, but between not being able to be active anymore, losing my independence has been really, really hard on me. As I said, I used to walk everywhere, so it was just me. I mean, my husband's shifts means that I do a lot of my stuff during the week on my own. Um, and that meant if I needed to go do a bit of shopping, it was me that had to go do it. If there was birthdays coming up, it was me. If I wanted to go visit my parents, it was me had to make my own way there and back, and that was fine because I enjoyed it. I love being my own person and getting to be able to, sorry, being able to just get up and go whenever I wanted to. And that's a case of if I want to go and see my parents, I have to plan it a few days in advance so that I am physically able to go. So I rest for 2 days before I get ready to go. I get a taxi there and it's a 10-15 minute walk. So getting a taxi there takes not even 5 minutes really. Um, and if I can't get a lift home, I have to get a taxi home again. Um, but it's things like that that just really, really get me down. And the fact that I can no longer work as well is something that I struggle with because I may not have always known what I wanted to do. And I did go through a number of jobs. I mean, going back to whenever I first met Thomas, probably just about 10 years ago. Yeah, be over 10 years ago when I met Thomas. I was working in a place called Neil's Flour Mill and I was a stock control assistant, I think it was. Um, and this is my job. I went in the morning and there would be pieces of paper sitting on my desk, and all those pieces of paper had loads of different numbers and weights and everything on them. And what I had to do was put those on the system. It was data input. If those didn't tally up, I had to find out where. I did the stock control. Do you want to know something? I loved it. I loved having to go up to that warehouse in the morning and recount those bags or give off to someone on the phone because the count wasn't done properly. And um, I loved that job. And then there was the part with the weighbridge where the vehicles would be coming in. There was one guy that we worked with, and he came in first thing in the morning and went home at 3 o'clock. So after 3 o'clock, and while he was on his breaks, I would do the weighbridge, and I loved it. I think I just loved the banter, with all the drivers coming in and everything. And obviously Thomas was one of those drivers that come in. Um, I always remember him coming in the mornings, and you would see, because there was a camera, and you would see the lorry turning the corner. And it was distinctive because all the other ones were different colours, but some blessed lorries are white. And every time that lorry would turn that corner, I would be going dum 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 dum. I just was infatuated. Um, But it was a long time after we got together though. I won't even go into all that, but it was just something that I absolutely loved, was being able to do that job. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, and I moved from there. I did a job. I was there 6 months, and on the day of my probation ending, I was sacked. And gosh, that hit me like a ton of bricks. Even though I didn't like the job, I'd kind of jumped the gun, and I'd gone from that to do something else, and you know, the last job I had, I was a care assistant, and I won't lie to you, I absolutely loved my job working in that nursing home. I did night shift, and I think I loved it the most because I did night shift. It meant that I had more time with the residents, especially the ones who didn't really sleep that much. I got to know their lives, I got to know so much about them, and I got to feel like they were family. Um, and that was something that really meant a lot to me. And unfortunately, due to my health, it's meant that I haven't actually been able to go and visit them as much since I haven't been there. Um, really should get over someday soon, because there's a lot of those residents who didn't have an awful lot of people that would come in and visit them. So it would be nice to go and spend some time with them. But anyway, so as you'll know, obviously, what happened, I went off on the sick and ended up realising just how bad I was. Um, I know this is a really unflattering angle, but I'm really comfortable. I've got my legs up. Can you see? That's my leg. I've got them up on, it's another wee desk, and I'm leaning back. I'm almost like I'm in a recliner. But anyway, I digress. Um, got my hot chocolate again and my ear cup. So all of that stuff I've had to grieve. I've had to grieve the fact that I gave up so much of my social life as well. I mean, I had a friend who I've been friends with since I was 11. We met in high school and fell in love with each other, absolutely infatuated. We were so close, and although we had a few years apart, we are still so incredibly close. But unfortunately, due to my illness and different situations, we haven't been able to see each other as much, and it makes me really sad because her two boys know me. I mean, I was with her second son, Danny, from he was born, and Curtis calls me his auntie. Um, but she's recently had a daughter, and I've only seen her twice, and it makes me really sad because I was so much a part of her other kids' lives that now that I haven't really seen her that much since she's had Claudia, I feel like I've lost out on so much. And even wee Danny doesn't even really know me anymore. He's gotten to be really shy, and surprisingly, I'm talking about this okay, but when I recorded it the first time, there was like a couple of minutes gap where I was, I'm okay, and I'm wiping away the tears because I did get really emotional. Maybe it was a good thing that I did it this way, because the emotions out, I've said it all once before, so the emotion's different now. Um, but anyway, I miss being able to just get up and go and see people whenever I want, and having a social life, and being able to go out for lunch with people and going out and having coffee here, there, and everywhere. And it does just make me really sad. Um, but with everything changing and my pain level being so bad, I had to stop one of my biggest hobbies, and that was jewellery making. And I'd spent a couple of years spending a lot of money and a lot of time. I mean, all this wall here was filled with shelves and drawers and everything, and I kept all my jewellery making stuff, and my desk was right here against the wall, and everything was here. And it got to the point that I wasn't able to make as much, and then I was going to do charity things, and I was in so much pain that I was crying even before I got there, and then I was spending days in bed afterwards, and it just wasn't worth it anymore. And as much as I've always dedicated my life to helping charities and helping others, it got to the point where it was really detrimental to me, so I had to stop. And it was really sad for me as well the day that I sat here in this room looking at all my jewellery making stuff and cried my heart out because I knew that I wasn't able to keep it up anymore. And by this stage, I mean, I was an admin in a jewellery supplies group, um, and I had a group of my own called Pearls of Wisdom, and I shared that with Sharon, who you will probably see commenting down below and hear me talking about. Um, Sharon, like myself, suffers from fibromyalgia, and as I found out through a friend, she also was encouraged by me to talk to the doctor about fibro, and that's how she was diagnosed. Um, just gonna give you a big kiss, Sharon. I wish you could give you a big hug this week. You know how much I love you. Um, but she is admin with me on that group, and we have spent so much time doing different things on that group, and it's been brilliant. You know, I've really enjoyed it, but unfortunately, because of my health, I'm not making anymore. I kind of feel like a fraud in the group now because I'm putting up the challenges, but I'm not actually doing anything. Um, so I said to the girl that owned the jewellery supplies group, I said, like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not as active in the group. I feel like I'm doing you wrong because I'm not helping as much as I should, and it's a very, very busy group. I think it's probably one of the most popular, if not the most popular group for buying and selling jewellery supplies on Facebook. Um, I mean, I was part of that group since there was like 30 people in it, so I watched it grow to over 1,000. And I mean, I'm so proud of Emily for everything she's done in that group, and I'm sure she'll never get to watch these videos. Um, but if she ever did, Emily, I am very proud of what you've done in the supplies group and any other group that you've been part of. You've done so fantastic, so keep it up. Um, so anyway, obviously that just left the Pearls of Wisdom, and I keep in touch with all those girls there because they are a fantastic bunch of girls who make jewellery, and I love that there's still some of them that, even though they suffer as well, are still making jewellery. Um, the likes of Renee and Sharon, you know, you girls still do it, and Callie, and oh, I do this all the time. I go to start rhyming off names. I get to the third name and my mind goes blank. I'm sorry, girls. You all know who you are. I love yous. Um, I mean, I've got to feel like a lot of those girls that have come over to my group are like sisters to me. You know, Sharon and Renee, I mean, I'm very, very close to, and we share a lot with each other to do with their pain and everything, and I think that's what I love about my group, is that I have been able to share whenever I've been feeling rubbish, as well as whenever I've been feeling good as well. That rare moment, you know, I think it was 6 o'clock one Wednesday about 3 months ago. But no, you know what I mean anyway. You know, we don't just talk about the bad, we talk about the good stuff as well. Um, so I've digressed, I've completely started rambling. We're talking about grieving. I mean, I had all that to grieve for. I mean, when I was growing up, I always thought I was going to have a family, and I always, I'm a very, very maternal person, and I love children. Um, if I could, I would steal my brother's wee girl, Ella. You've probably seen her in one of my videos. She is amazing. I could steal her and just take her as my own. People wouldn't be any of the wiser because she looks like me. It's my hot chocolate, guys. I can't stop. I can't stop drinking it. It's so yummy. Lynn, this hot chocolate came from you. Thank you. Anyway. I got to the point where I was so depressed with how my life had changed. I didn't get to have the family I wanted. And I know people say you don't know what the future holds. If this is how my body's going to be for the rest of my life, I don't want to bring children into that. And obviously to this point in my life, you know, I'm 30 next year, I haven't had children. The chances of it ever happening are very, very slim. You know, I've had that many fertility issues and whatever that maybe someday I'll go into, but it's something that I'm almost over. I've grieved for the fact that I'm never going to be a mother, but I still have a few wee wobbles, so I'm not going to talk about it tonight, but I will talk about it someday. But anyway, that is a life that I had to grieve for that I would never have, and the rest of it has kind of come on top of that as well. You know, grieving for that person that I once was, the independent person, the working person, and I nearly said working girl there. Is that not like a hooker? I don't know. Anyway. The reason that I wanted to talk to you all about this is because I wanted to talk to you about what I did. I'm not saying that I'm totally on the other side, but I'm getting there. Um, and obviously one of the biggest parts for me is always the fact that I have God and I rely on my faith to get me through each day. But having that faith is what made me understand that there was a reason that I had this illness. And as I'm such a caring person, I sat and I racked my brains thinking, why have I got this? What is this going to become? You know, why is it that I've got this? What am I going to do with it? Where is it going to take me? You know, what's going to happen? It's a wee bit more flattering, isn't it? And every night whenever I was going to bed and not sleeping, what I was doing was I was listening to, I wasn't listening, I was watching. The last time I filmed this, that sentence was I was reading instead of watching. Now it's listening. I can never get that sentence proper. I was watching YouTube videos, and it was all the beauty gurus and everything, and I absolutely love them. I love watching all of those videos, and even the funny ones as well. I mean, there's some guys in America. I love Joey Graceffa. Lynn and I absolutely adore him. He's so funny, the stupid things that he does. Um, I have a YouTube crush on Sawyer Hartman. If you don't know who he is, I will pop a couple of links down below of the people I'm talking about. I keep winding my husband about him. I'm gonna run off and leave him. I actually have to be honest, I thought Sawyer was gay whenever I first started watching him, so it's not like that sort of crush. I just find him so talented in what he does and so funny as well. Anyway, all of those people are what kept me going through the night, and I loved watching them. And it was one night that I was lying in bed, and I think it was like 2:30, and it was just like a wee light bulb going off, and I thought, I'm gonna do that. I need to do that. Um, and I remember whenever I first started thinking about it, I was like, I can't. And it was around the same time that I had spent so many days just crying and crying and crying. I was so depressed. And I was just getting deeper and deeper into that depression because I was doing nothing. I was going nowhere. And um, the doctor had, at that stage, prescribed me with antidepressants. And at that time, I was fighting it. It took me over a month from actually getting my prescription to starting to take them. I left them sitting on my desk. And the reason he gave me them was to help my moods and also to help me sleep at night. So anyway, between that and realizing that I could do these YouTube videos and talk about my life and hopefully help others and make other people like me feel like they're not alone anymore, I thought, you know, maybe this is what God wants me to do. So I sat down and I did my intro, and I think I filmed that about 5 times, and within a few weeks I decided what I actually wanted to do, and that was to have 2 days a week for filming beauty stuff and one day in the middle for filming fibro stuff. And obviously the fibro is the serious stuff, but I didn't want it to be all about fibro. I wanted people to see that I'm a human as well, and I have loves and I have obsessions and I have things that I want to do. I want to be a makeup artist, and it's something that I wanted to be whenever I was much younger. I never thought I could be, so I just left it and just went and did whatever I could possibly do. Um, so this year I decided, obviously it was supposed to be in September, I was starting my course. I didn't get to start it just with one thing or another, but I'm hoping January, so guys please pray for me. January. We want to be starting the course in January. And that's going to be beauty therapy, makeup artistry and nail technician. So anyway, that is what I want to do. And I chose to use YouTube to follow my journey. And I haven't done a lot with the nails yet. I actually sat here the other day doing some nail art, and I actually had so much fun. So I'm going to do some films of playing about with nail art and doing some tutorials so that you can see how to do them and whatever. And again with the makeup, I'm just getting comfortable with doing tutorials as well. I did my first one on Sharon's request, and I was so nervous doing it because I thought, I'm telling people how to put their makeup on. It's one thing doing a get ready with me and people seeing how you do it, but when you're telling them how to do it, it's a wee bit different. Um, but I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So anyway, I know that YouTube isn't what's the answer for everybody. For me, it was a place that I could come and feel like I'm talking to friends and family, and each one of you that have either come over from my chronic pain group or have gone from here over to my chronic pain group, I have got to know so many of you and really started to bond with you and love getting to know each and every one of you. I mean, last week I sat and I cried my heart out whenever I was reading so many responses that I got. My Fibro fog videos were shared on Voices of Fibromyalgia, which is a group on Facebook, and I'll pop that in the down bar as well. And within a couple of hours I had gained like nearly 50 new subscribers, and I mean, I'd gone from having 300 and something views to nearly 1,000 views, and I was so overwhelmed. And if you're one of those people who came over here from watching those videos and seeing that link, I just want to thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, and I really hope that you've enjoyed. If you've checked out the other ones, um, I hope you've enjoyed them, and I hope they give you something and that they're not a pile of rubbish, because that is one thing that I really fear, that I'm just sitting here rambling and people just don't get what I'm talking about, because sometimes I don't even get what I'm talking about. Do you have a tendency to ramble? But I'm hoping, beyond all hope, that this is working out and that you're enjoying them. And again, your messages to me, and even if you didn't message but you just took the time to watch my videos, I'm so, so blessed by that. And it's the same whenever I get those thumbs up from people. It really blesses me because I know then that somebody has enjoyed my videos. I don't get nearly as many thumbs up as I want to, but maybe someday soon people will start putting the thumbs up. Anyway, obviously YouTube isn't for everybody, and it's something that's really helped me. It's been therapeutic for me. So between that and my antidepressants, it really has helped me move on and try and be a new person. I mean, I spend half my time now looking at makeup stuff and researching fibro stuff and chatting with people on the group, and it's things like that that has really, really helped me to keep going and given me something to wake up for every day. And when I'm lying awake in the middle of the night, I'm responding to people's messages, and it has been a real blessing to me. And I just want each and every one of you to know that yes, you may be grieving now, but that will pass, and someday soon, maybe not tonight, maybe not tomorrow, or even next week, but someday soon you're going to realize what your life is going to become. And even if you are like one of those people, I have a friend that I've been talking to recently, and he's bedbound, never mind housebound. Um, but there's so many things that you could do. You could write a book about your struggles, and people can be blessed by that book as well. People can take from that um, so much and know that they're not alone, that there's other people like they're suffering like them. And I actually thought about starting it just reminded me, I wanted to start a book club because I thought it's something that can bond people like us who suffer. And I don't mean that we're going to read books every week about fibromyalgia, just any book. But we come together once a week and we chat about the books that we've been reading. And um, I mean, most of the times I read my book on my Kindle. I mean, there's iBooks, I used to buy books for like 99p or £2 and stuff on eBay. Absolutely brilliant bargains, but it was something that I thought could be really good. It's a way of getting people to focus on something, and each week talking about the book that we've decided to read together. And I don't know whether that's something any of you would be interested in. You don't even have to be a fibromyalgia or chronic pain sufferer to want to join in, but I think it's something really good to help people feel like they're not alone, because you've got that something that you're going to be seeing someone, you're going to be chatting to them. I started writing a book about something last year, and I actually think that it's a really good way to vent about your life and help other people as well. You may end up using it as a blog, you may like a person that I was talking to a few weeks back. If I can find her link, I'll pop it down below. But her book was actually published. She doesn't have fibromyalgia. I can't remember what it is she suffers from, but she started writing a journal, and she ended up, somebody published it, and it's been something that's really blessed her, because she realized that through her struggle she could help other people. Um, and that's not to say that everybody's going to have to do things to help other people, but there are ways that you can change your life to take you from grieving from that old person that you used to be to realizing your potentials and what you still actually can do. And that's something that we all need to learn. And nobody has the right answers for everybody. I have the answer. I think I have the answer for me. May not be the answer for you, but I want you all to know that it's normal to grieve. It's okay to grieve for that person that you've lost, because in essence that person that we used to be has died. They're gone. We're somebody new now. And that's okay too. We may not be like this forever. I don't know if you are as in as much pain as I am every day, or whether you're in even more pain as I am. But what keeps me going is the faith that I won't always be like this. And I have to say that it's something that, even if I'm like this for the rest of my days on this earth, we're only on this earth for a short time, but eternity is what we have, and it's forever. And I know that whenever I meet God, He's going to say, if I've been doing the right thing by doing these YouTube videos, um, and I'm not going to suffer anymore once I'm there. And it'll be the same for all you guys. And I'm not saying go out, become a Christian, and you'll be super duper fine or anything like that. I'm just saying that this is what's helped me. Um, we all have our things that help us get through, and one of the biggest things, apart from me having my faith, is having the group of people around me for whenever I am needing to grieve. And you need to remember that too. If you need somebody to talk to about this, if you have to vent about it, do it with people who understand. There's so many groups on Facebook. You don't have to just come to mine. But know that if you come to mine, you'll have me to talk to, and Sharon, and Renee, and Callie, and all the new people that's come that their names have just gone. I just want to thank you guys all so much for watching my videos. And I hope you've taken the time to watch all the other ones as well. Even my beauty ones, give them a wee watch if you haven't done so yet. You might find something useful. I actually found once I started wearing makeup, and yes, I know the irony of that because I'm not wearing any, but whenever I started wearing makeup again and started trying to be feminine again, it actually made me feel better. And even if I'm only sitting in the house, it's actually nice to have a bit of BB cream on and mascara and feel like a woman, rather than just feeling like a slouch and somebody who's just in their pajamas all the time. I think we need ways to keep ourselves uplifted, and that's the thing. As much as we're allowed to grieve, we do need to get through that grief as well. And if you find that it is a big struggle, talk to your doctor. Ask about seeing counselling, because if you can't get the support you need from a group online, obviously we're not doctors or therapists or anything like that. I did used to want to be a counsellor, and that's where I was going to go with all my studying whenever I was working in the home. I was going to study to be a counsellor. I think that's why I try and do these, because it's my way of doing something. Anyway, get counselling, because it's something you do need to work on as well. But anyway guys, it's 30 minutes long, this video. I'm sure you're totally bored of listening to me. I'm exhausted. I had planned to do 2 videos tonight, but considering my first one was rubbish and I had to redo it, this is the only one that's going to be up this week. I hope you've taken something from it. I hope it hasn't just been a whole ramble, because I'm not going to get to edit it properly. But I just want to say I love you all so much, and I'm so blessed to the tips of my toes for you all watching my videos, and the comments you leave, and all those wee thumbs up that I'm going to get now. I'm going to get those thumbs up, aren't I? Anyway guys, I'm going to head on. I will see you on Friday with some more beauty videos, and I'll see you next Wednesday for more Fibro. Love yous. Mwah. Bye.